If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new songs in the description. So we know that Jermaine Coleslaw is dropping something, also likely pretty soon. I dropped a video a couple of days ago, in which I went over the top 5 theories that we got on this new album, presumably called It's a Boy. Today, though, I wanted to address the question as to whether this album might be dropping on January 28th, most famously known as Jermaine Cole/ birthday. So we're going to break this down. Let's jump straight into the video. Real quick, if you don't want to listen to this, make sure to skip 20 seconds into the future. You can now sign up for my free newsletter that is coming every Sunday and recaps everything that's been happening in hip hop in the previous week, with the first link in the description. Definitely worth it. Also, follow me on TikTok. I'm posting on the daily. You don't want to miss out on that. Now let's jump into the video. So we all kind of agreed that J. Cole is in the process of rolling something out because he cleared his Instagram a couple of weeks ago, and the last time that he did that was before the off season that dropped 2 weeks after. So, you know, Cole clearing his Instagram is usually a pretty good sign that something is coming out. Well, with this knowledge, we were looking at what could this new album be, and the next best option was It's a Boy. Now, It's a Boy was the next best option because he, like 1, 2, 3 years ago, leaked or showed us this release schedule that he has for the fall off era, quote unquote. And he on there had his feature run of 2018, 2019, which was already crossed out because he already did that. Then we had Revenge of the Dreamers 3 that was also already done, so crossed out. The next thing on the list was the off season, and a year later, or like a couple of months later, we got the off season, so mentally we can cross that out. And the next point, or the next step on this release schedule, is It's a Boy. And we also know that It's a Boy is actually a musical album, so an album that he's working on, because he confirmed this when he was on Kevin Durant's podcast, because at some point we weren't sure what It's a Boy would be. We also had The Fall Off as a possible album, but on KD's podcast, he said, you got to go into the studio when you miss it for real. So that took 6 weeks, and after that, it was the best decision I made, because after that, I came into the studio with full clarity, like, okay, off season, boom, The Fall Off, boom, It's a Boy, boom. I just started chipping away. So we know that he worked on the off season, on The Fall Off, 2 albums that we know of, and It's a Boy. So that is also confirmed to be an album. But let's actually look at why we thought that this was dropping on the 28th. Well, aside from just the fact that he cleared his Instagram and that showed us that he was about to start a rollout or something of the likes, also Dreamville Festival, which developed into something that is way bigger than just Dreamville Festival, because they always have like very prominent features on there, a lot of big guests that are performing, especially from the South. I mean, if you're in the area during that time, April 1st and April 2nd, I think it is, then make sure to cop tickets. I've never been, but I always see clips and I always want to go, but I'm never in town when that's happening. Be sure to cop tickets. I really recommend it, man. I've only seen positive things about it, but that is coming up at, as I said, in the beginning of April, so April 1st and April 2nd. So it would make sense for Cole, especially now that he's already cleared his Instagram, to drop some new music before that, because then he could perform the new music when the festival is happening. Well, and one of the theories that I talked about in that other video, I really recommend you go check out that video, because as I said, the other 4 theories on there are also very, very interesting, and there's a lot of evidence behind this, so make sure to go check it out. But one of them was that J. Cole is dropping this album on his birthday, which is obviously January 28th. Now, also, I've seen theories about this on Twitter, for example, because already last year, people thought that he would be releasing It's a Boy on January 28th. And last year, that argument actually held more substance, because when you look at the post, it reads, theory: Cole's next album, It's a Boy, will be released January 28th. First of all, EarthGang said last year that their new album would be released the same day as Cole. Obviously, it wasn't for the off-season, so maybe they meant It's a Boy. That actually still holds true. There's still a serious argument you can bring up. The second one is January 28th lands on a Friday, and this might be Cole's only chance to drop something on his birthday. That was true last year. It isn't true anymore this year, and that is the main reason that I don't think it's dropping on the 28th, because this year, the 27th is the Friday, which is exactly in 7 days, so in 1 week. That could still be a possible release date, though. And the third argument is also the reason why I went over in the other video, that I think there could be some substance to this. It is the title of the album, It's a Boy, would line up perfectly because he was born on January 28th, literally, It's a Boy. Now, the last argument is still, I believe, a very strong one, but the other approach to this is to think that this new album might be more family-oriented. Now, I'll go over a lot of evidence on why this might be the case. For example, his verses on Sacrifice, him wanting the track 90 Proof from Smino before that just dropped as a J. Cole feature, and that obviously had a lot of family influence on there as well. Also, the fact that in the Heavens EP single that then landed on the D-Day Gangsta Grillz DJ Drama tape with Dreamville, he was talking about not showing his kids to the public, but then It's a Boy would be the album about his kids or about his family life, his role as a father, kind of already, going into that direction with Let Go of My Hand off of the Off-Season. Incredible track, by the way, but something we had never heard from J. Cole before, referencing his kids like that. So a family-oriented album, I think, is definitely next for J. Cole. The question is just when and in which form. Now, as to the question whether this will drop on the 28th or 27th, I still think there is a chance. And I do think that at least we're going to get something next week, because him clearing his Instagram usually means something is coming. And before that, he had a lot of his accolades on there, like the custom NBA 2K23 then cover that he was on. That was, for example, the Dreamers Edition. That was a big one for him. So he had stuff like that on there, and now he just cleared it. And as I said 2 years ago, 2 weeks later, the Off-Season dropped. So something is definitely in the works when it comes to J. Cole and the Dreamville roster, and something that they're working on. Maybe we'll get something on the 27th. As I said last year, the 28th would have been perfect because it was a Friday, and that would likely be the last chance that J. Cole would get to drop an album on his birthday on the 28th. But he could still come close enough this year by dropping it on the 27th and then having a stress-free birthday to celebrate, because if you drop an album on your birthday, it's pretty stressful. And then he would have that material to perform at Dreamville Fest that is happening like 2 months later. So that would actually be a pretty, ingenious way to do that. And I hope that he is at least announcing something, even if we just get a little single. He most recently, is now producing a single for Cordae and Anderson .Paak that is produced by J. Cole. He also recently dropped a track for a YouTuber who, he used his beat on YouTube and then dropped the track over it. And that was a crazy moment. I believe y'all have seen that. So that was definitely something that I was very surprised by. Also maybe indicating that he's getting active again and that he, was kind of working on something. Now, that's all the info we got on J. Cole dropping It's a Boy on his birthday. That is the theory that we have. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think there is some substance to this theory? Do you think that this could actually hold true? And do you think that, J. Cole is at least announcing something on the 27th or 28th? All of your thoughts on this, please let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.